Our president will start a war with Iran.
What about the Jews? What about the Jews?
We don't need to be involved in Bibi Netanyahu's Middle East BS.
Trump just bombed Iran, and I'm completely over it, and I'm gonna break all of this down at a third grade level. We've heard the term peace in the Middle East for a reason, and that's because there's been no peace in the Middle East. They've been beefing for years now between like religion issues, borders, like whose land is who, terrorist groups, foreign intervention. Hello. It's a lot, and it's complicated, and it's been rising as of recently. Between Iran, Palestine, and Israel, things have been chaotic, people have been dying, bombs have been flown, and like I said before, now the United States is directly involved. And while I'm not a geopolitical expert, and I'm not gonna act like I am, I do feel like I need to at least share my stance, my opinion on this, because it does involve the United States, it involves us, it involves those who are serving this military, it involves those who has families serving this military, it involves our taxes, and it involves our very livelihood. Because truly, there's a lot of other people out there who are probably feeling how you and I are feeling right now, tired. Between 9/11, the 2008 financial crisis, all these protests, COVID, student debt, there's like, can we chill? Please? Please. Can we just chill? And I get it. I'm saying, can we chill? And I voted for Trump. I get it, but do I regret it? No. Am I disappointed so far in his presidency? Yeah, I am. He's made some decisions. He said some things that I just really disagree with and did not see coming at all. And in this video, we're gonna go through it all between what Trump has said, how he responded, and everything else regarding this entire conflict. I understand that there's so much context and division and religious issues, and I understand there's so much that goes into it. I get it, but something that I do know for certain is that our voice matters and our lives matter. And there are two definite things that I know for certain regarding this entire conflict, and that's one, I am very sick and tired of innocent people just dying. And I'm pretty clear on that. It's self-explanatory. It doesn't matter what side, Israel, Palestine, Iran, it doesn't matter. I do feel bad for those who are just like living their lives, having nothing really to do, not really involved in what their government's doing, and then just dying. I do feel for those losing their lives. And two, one of the main reasons why I did vote for Donald Trump, I want to put America first. We all, left and right, have been complaining about immigration, healthcare, infrastructure, education, student debt, drug crisis, so much, to the point where I'm sitting here like, why can't we just focus on what's going on right here instead of something going 7,000 miles away? Why are we going to now just thrust ourselves into war? For what? I understand that this is not necessarily like war, it's like a strike, and maybe there's a chance that Iran's just like, you know what, we're gonna fall back, we're not gonna do nothing. Or maybe like they said, we're gonna get through later in this video, that they are gonna retaliate. But it's like at the end of the day, we're doing all this, we're gonna get into Israel. We're doing all this, it seems like, on behalf of Israel, and for what? We've already gone through all these wars. I mean, look at Iraq. It's like, what do we gain? We have to fight overseas to protect our freedoms here in America. What is there to protect if our country's falling apart? At what point are we going to look within and say, actually, let's just focus on what we got going on here right now? Again, we're being told, oh, well, we can't let Iran have weapons of mass destruction. First off, if that was the case, why didn't we do this before? Why is it now that after Israel's getting bombed, now that we're stepping in to protect them, we're like, actually, like, no, let's drop a bomb, let's do this and that on behalf of Israel? Like, for what? If it really was about Iran and having these nukes, I feel like we would have did something. But instead, we're doing it right when Israel seems to be needing help. At that, Israel has been talking about Iran having missiles and having these nukes since before I was born.
The deadline for attaining this goal is getting extremely close. And Iran, by the way, is also outpacing Iraq in the development of ballistic missile systems that they hope will reach the eastern seaboard of the United States within 15 years. By next spring, at most, by next summer, at current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment and move on to the final stage. From there, it's only a few months, possibly a few weeks, before they get enough enriched uranium for the first bomb. The foremost sponsor of global terrorism could be weeks away from having enough enriched uranium for an entire arsenal of nuclear weapons. That would place a militant Islamic terror regime weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months.
Then take care of it yourself. Just take care of it yourself. You're right there. You are right next door. Take care of it yourself. If you don't have the means to do that, figure it out, come up with the money, build it, and do it yourself. Why are we constantly getting involved with them? Why are we constantly trying to just hip and holler and protect Israel and what they got going on and this, that, and the third? Do it yourself. You've been saying this since 1996, sir. Blows my mind how much this man gets away with. It really does. And how corrupt he's been, how long he's been in office, all the political protests that were going on in Israel before all the wars got set off, and he's still in power. Something don't sit right with me. It really doesn't. And it frustrates me that it's been this long that he's been talking about this. And it's like, sir, you've been talking about this for damn near 30 years now. Wrap it up. So it makes me wonder, how big is the threat? What kind of threat does Iran pose with having nukes? Because we're being told Russia's a threat. We're being told China's a threat. Well, they both have nukes, and we don't see us bombing them for them to get rid of nukes. I understand, and they're not out there just chanting death to America. But like, there's people in the United States chanting death to America, you know? Non-stop, every protest, you got people burning the American flag, death to America, this, that, and the third. It's like, I get it. You don't want them to be crazy over there with nukes, but like, I don't want to say to let them try something first, but like, it just doesn't, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, this strike and the timing, it doesn't line up. Because even if they were successful and let's say Iran made a nuke and they tucked it away, would they even use it? Again, I don't know. And I'm not a geopolitical expert. Maybe that's a dumb question. I don't know. But what I don't see us doing is going after any other country that we say is a threat and going after their nukes too. Especially being, if we wanted to go after them for their nukes and we wanted to do the scaled approach, I feel like we would have done this way before. Obviously, there's been a thing, it's been a topic for 30 years. I'm more so just confused and concerned with why we decided to bomb them a week after, or maybe a few days after Israel starts getting bombed. Regardless, in this video, we're going to be discussing some things going on in the Middle East, everything in between, different perspectives. You already know how it rolls. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity. And
if we've heard about it for years, why didn't we do something about it from the jump at this level?
A stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
I get that some of them can be bullies, and you know, they're the bullies of the Middle East, but there is another bully of the Middle East that's not really spoken about, and it's one involving the country that is committing a lot of crimes and murders against women and children in the Middle East, and their flag is blue. So I'm not saying one's worse than the other, but I am pointing out, Israel just like, actually, we're gonna do a preemptive strike, and just boom, 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 boom. A preemptive strike? Ain't that just a strike? Ain't that just starting it up? That's what confused me. And yes, he out here making threats. Trump says Iran nuclear sites obliterated, threat is more strikes. This is the video that we're going through now, but I had to just jump in real quick and see, is it free? Is it fair coverage? How is this being swayed? Because this is, you know, more of war and it is breaking news, but not really. It's developing, but we're mostly discussing how like this did happen for a fact, and that's what we're reporting on. How was this being reported on from the left, right, and center? And with this being breaking news, you guys know I only go to my trusted source, Ground News, the sponsor of this video, because they equip not just me, but you all too with the tools to read the news from a clear lens, no matter what's going on in the world. And with things heating up, it's good to have a source to go to that you can trust trust. Because for example like this, I hear Trump say something and I go into ground news and I immediately can see, how is this being swayed? Are people just reporting on it? What is the left, center, and right saying? Let's dive into it. Here it says, President Donald Trump announced successful U.S. military strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. I think I'm saying that correctly. And Trump emphasized that the strikes were necessary to deter Iran's nuclear threat and warned of potential further attacks if peace was not achieved. I'm sorry, it seemed like peace was already a thing until Israel just went boom, 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 boom. And they were like, no, we're standing on business. We're shooting back, boom, 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 boom. And then Israel was like, boom, 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 boom. And then Iran was like, boom, 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 boom. And then Israel was like, hold on, pause. Ayo, Trump, we need to pull up. And then Trump pulls up. And then we strike them and then say we demand peace. Which from one perspective, I can kind of get, because you're striking nuclear assets, so like they can't build bombs. So you're saying, I'm getting rid of your access to cause harm, so now I want you to be peaceful, I guess. But on the flip side, it's like you're just inserting yourself in someone else's business, which on one end, it gets into the whole geopolitical thing and how involved you should be. But I just feel like with this country crumbling and the way that it is, maybe we should just focus on us right now for a second at least. Because again, they've been talking about this for the past 30 years and nothing's been done. Here on the center, yeah, President called the bombings. It's all fair. It's fair. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu praised the strikes as a bold decision that will change history. Of course you praised. We're going to get into him later. But of course, you done praise the decisions and you're very happy that the USA stepped in for you and boom, 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 boom. I'm sure you are. It's so insane to me. But guys, like I said before, if you want to get involved with ground news, be sure to tap the link below, scan the QR code here on the screen, especially in today's climate. It is so important for you all to get the news for yourself and be able to see it from a clear lens at all times. And a reminder, this isn't just for those in the United States. You can go up here to this top corner, hit US edition, and you can toggle between international, UK, Canada, and Europe. So you can always get the news that matters to you. And it doesn't stop there. My favorite spot on this website is called Blind Spot, and it shows you everything that the left isn't talking about but the right is, and on the other side, everything that the left is talking about but the right isn't. So not only will Blind Spot keep you grounded, but they also have these topic clusters. And right here, news about Israel-Hamas conflict, you can see this interest, you can see the top news about it, you can see all the blind spots within it. You can if you're somebody that wants to be really dialed in on this conflict, this is your hub, this is your go-to spot you can go to. So again, if you want to see all this for yourself and see the little niches and how it's broken down, be sure to tap the link below and scan the QR code here on the screen. They're giving you 40% off the Vantage plan, which is the one that I use that unlocks all the cool features that we've gone through in this video. But now let's just get back to Trump, because this is too much.
For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel.
There's so much to unpack right now, because first off, you've been planning this, you've been thinking about doing this for a hot minute now. Why are you waiting for now to do it? This is what I just keep going back to. It doesn't make sense. If you always felt this way, why did it take Israel to bomb Iran and then them to go back and forth, and then for you to jump in to actually do something that you're saying it basically isn't related to what's going on? And then you're also saying you partnered with them and you're glad that Israel's safe. Why can't they just protect themselves?
I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many decades.
I just don't get it, you guys. I don't get it. When I found out that this happened, I was shook. I was in the middle of cleaning the house, and I'm just sitting here like flabbergasted. Like, what is he doing? One, what is he doing? But two, who's our president? Listen, who's our president? Trump, Netanyahu, what's going on? Y'all working as a team. Are you working as a team over both nations? Are you working as a team to go through Iran? Like, I need the full scoop, and I don't think we're getting it.
Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history.
I'm sure you are glad, because these are your neighbors who you've been dealing with, and we just did the dirty work for you. Why couldn't you just do it yourself? We flew 7,000 miles away to do 7,000 miles away to knock this puppy out the park.
In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today...
I'm sure you're very happy because you've been wanting to do this for 30 years now. You just went through them videos. You've been talking about this and talking about this and talking about this, and you're just thanking him because he did it for you. Trump did it for you. America, United States did it for Israel. So we've heard Trump, talk about why he did what he did. Apparently just because of the nukes, and God bless Israel. And I'm so thankful to be working with Israel, this, that, and the third. We heard Israel's point of view. Bibi Netanyahu is very amped up, very excited, very happy that Trump took the initiative and did this. What's Iran's response? What did they say? Because you guys.
آمریکا با این اقدامی که انجام داد علیه ایران و حریم هوایی ایران را شکست و جنایت علیه ایران انجام داد دیگه جایی در منطقه غرب آسیا نداره. آقای رئیس جمهور آمریکا شما شروع کردید و ما تمومش خواهیم کرد.
You started it. And we will finish it. That's my only thought right now is like going forward. What happens now? What are we keeping our eye out for? Is it just stuff going on over in the Middle East and U.S. bases there? Is it like terrorist attacks here in the United States? Like, I don't know. I don't know. And that's the really uneasy part about all this is like just what's next regarding all of this. And not only what's next, I know there's some people very confused probably on what even started it to begin with.
Here's what's happening in Iran. Israel launched a preemptive attack on Iran's nuclear program and military targets overnight. They killed 4 senior commanders. Iran said they considered the attack a declaration of war. In retaliation, they launched more than 100 drones towards Israel. Israel said that most of these had been intercepted. People in Iran awoke this morning stunned at what had taken place. The German chancellor called for de-escalation, and in an unusual move, Russia strongly condemned the attacks. This is a shift from Putin's policy of largely balancing partnerships in the Middle East. Meanwhile, on his social media site Truth Social, President Trump warned Iran to make a deal with the United States as already planned attacks could be even more brutal.
And we learned that they were. Israel bombed Iran, took out their generals, and then Iran shot back, and then Israel called America, and then Trump bombed Iran. That's basically like dumbing everything down. As of recently, that's what happened. And that's really what has people up in arms, especially the more so Republican side. It's really interesting seeing the amount of people who are split on this, who are like, no, I'm pissed that we did this. We need to just stay out of it. Like let Israel do Israel, and like let's just mind our business for one. And then you have other people really advocating this and pushing for this. That split has been very, very dramatic, and it's been rising as of recently. Honestly, more than ever, because again, I just feel like there's so much going wrong in the United States that it does make me wonder, when are we going to start taking more control of what's happening here again instead of 7,000 miles away?
Trying to get us into a war with Iran or not, America, if Israel is trying to. I don't trust the Israel leader at all. I don't believe anything that guy says. And I don't think that our soldiers should have to go and defend stuff that they start. I'm not a soldier, so I'm obviously speaking out of turn. I'm not even brave enough to serve, so.
I completely agree with Theo here. I am not a soldier. I am not a geopolitical expert, but it doesn't take a lot of knowledge, I guess, or breadth of history in that space to understand that if a country 7,000 miles away starts something with their neighbor, why isn't just the neighbor fighting? Why is all of a sudden we're jumping in? I get it, they're allies, but at the same time, how many of our soldiers are supposed to be dying over what someone else is doing? That's what's confusing to me. I don't want any U.S. soldiers going over there, and I'm not a soldier. Hello, if there's soldiers that want to go out there, go for it. I think anybody that's calling for war should be put on the front lines of war. If you're really advocating for it and you're really about that life, then go on out there and go. But all these politicians out here, they'd be like up in the cushy at their desk in their safe havens of their home, pushing for these wars, signing things off, sending troops off, and never seeing the light of day, never touching ground in a war zone. Nasty work. Just nasty. And like Theo said too, I do not trust Bibi Netanyahu. There's something with him. I don't know what it is, but the government's shady. Has nothing to do with Jews, has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic, none of that. We're talking about another government, okay? We're not talking about this group of people. What we're talking about is their leader, as in there, as in Israel, as in like that nation. Like something's up, something's in cahoots. I'm not vibing with it at all. I'm just not. It gives me the heebie-jeebies, especially this bombing. It does, and the timing and the quick calls, and we worked with Israel to do this and that. Again, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
You can't fight the wars, but your sons and daughters better fight the wars, guys. God forbid you have a person on a platform telling you, no, this is stupid. We don't need to be involved in Bibi Netanyahu's Middle East BS and expansion policies. Okay, they don't have the people, so they want you to be the people that go die for it and are trying to marry you to those ideas in the classroom, on podcasts, via the media. And because their relationship and your trust in the media has been fractured, they now have to work on trying to fracture your trust in people like me and Tucker Carlson. This is the new vibe. He sounds like an Iranian propagandist when he says don't die in Iran. When he says that obviously no person should send their kids to die in the Middle East because this has been our policy, our flatline policy for the last decades, and nothing good has come of it. Literally nothing good has come of it. They can't even pretend anything good has come of it. Look around, look at your streets. Look at your country. Is your country cleaner? Is your country better for having fought Israel's wars for decades? Oh, that's anti-Semitic.
I get it too. Candace be snapping. Candace is like a big sister almost. Like every time I message her, she messages me back. She's very sweet. Met her in person a couple times. She's a gem. There's nothing anti-Semitic about not wanting to have anything to do with Israel. The government is just not. Like I'm tired of the wars, tired of troops going out everywhere, tired of like protecting everybody else on behalf of like to protect America when America itself is crumbling. We cannot be Captain Save-A-Ho across the world, and it's clear we don't know how to multitask. I get it. We have these different committees and we got different budgets. This budget's going here, this budget's going there. Well, the budgets ain't budgeted. It's just not. Something needs to give. Earth is ghetto, USA is ghetto, and I want to fix it. I don't want to live in no trap house. I don't want to live in the ghetto. I see how prosperous it become. I can see the progress, but I also can see the decline. And I want to fix that decline. But how the hell do you ever expect to fix the decline? We out here fixing everybody else's problems. If Iran is Israel's neighbor, fix it yourself. You're right there. You're literally right there. You're right there. I don't understand why we need to protect Israel at all costs and work with them as close as we do. And they're involved in our government. Super. Ooh, I've been working on a video about the influence that it is within America and our policies, and because I want to come at it from an angle that is very just fact driven. Like no hate, no ill will, no anti-Semitism, none of that. It is here's what it is. And I don't want any of it to be misconstrued or taken the wrong way. Like, no, here's the facts of the matter. So that's something I'm working on. So be sure to subscribe. But it is this whole ordeal of how closely we're involved with Bibi Netanyahu, I've had enough.
It's just interesting because what you're now describing in a very defensive way, I will say, is foreign influence over our politics.
No.
And you began, and it's so transparently obvious to everybody. I don't know why you would be embarrassed of it. You've said that you are sincerely for Israel. I believe you. I don't think you have some weird agenda. You seem to be sincere.
By the way, Tucker, it's a very weird thing. The obsession with Israel. When we're talking about foreign countries,
it's hardly an obsession.
You're not talking about Chinese. You're not talking about Japanese. You're not talking about the Brits. You're not talking about the French. The question, what about the Jews? What about the Jews?
Oh, I'm an anti-Semite now.
Senator, you're asking the question, Tucker. You're asking, why are the Jews controlling our foreign policy?
Senator,
that's what you just asked.
Hardly saying that, and I have.
That is exactly what you just said.
Well, actually, I can speak for myself and tell you what I am saying.
Good.
Before we even get into what Tucker responds with, this is exactly why I'm taking my time with that video, because any ounce of pushback or opinion against Israel is met with just outrage. For what reason and why? If you haven't seen this, it is an interview with Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson are going back and forth. And Ted Cruz, which I don't even think should be in office after saying this, but said that one of his main priorities being elected to office is to serve and protect Israel. I'm summing it up, but basically that's it. Like, he joined, and one of his main missions is like to protect Israel at all costs. I'm sorry, you were elected here in America. But because Tucker has some concerns regarding Israel and all of a sudden he's anti-Semitic or he's worried about the Jews, don't even brought up the Jews. We're talking about the government.
To what extent, and it's interesting you're trying to derail my questions by calling me an anti-Semite, which you are.
I did not.
Of course you are. And rather than be honorable enough to say it right to my face, you are in a sleazy feline way implying it, or just asking questions about the Jews. I'm not asking questions about the Jews. There's nothing to do with Jews or Judaism. It has to do with the foreign government.
Isn't Israel controlling our foreign policy? That's not about the Jews.
You said, I'm asking you.
And by the way, you're the one that just called me, I think, a sleazy feline. So let's be clear.
It's sleazy to imply that I'm an anti-Semite, which you just did.
No, I just said, why is that the only question you're asking? You answer it. Give me another reason. If you're not an anti-Semite, give me another reason why the obsession is Israel.
I am in no sense obsessed with Israel. We are on the brink of war with Iran. And so these are valid questions.
But you're not asking about Iran or the Ayatollah.
If I can finish, you asked me why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government, period. Okay. Any government, including the ones that my ancestors come from.
At all. Very weird behavior. Very weird. And that's a video that I want to focus on, is how much influence is within our government. This interview was crazy. Even the interview, he slipped up and was like, we are bombing them. And Tucker was like, who is we? And then Ted Cruz was like, I'm sorry, I meant Israel. What? And then he was like, well, I don't hear you talking about Iran. I don't hear you talking about Palestine. We're talking about Israel because we give them the money. We give them the resources, we give them the tools. Why else would I be talking about them? It doesn't matter if it was Israel. Like, if it was any other country, we'd be talking about that country. It just is what it is. It's always going to be that country, not necessarily its people. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend you give this a watch. It was just very eye-opening. And like how bold Ted Cruz was in what he was saying, but then how aggressive he was pushing back on Tucker. Because even then, Tucker was like, oh, Ted, how many people are in Iran? I believe it was Iran he was talking about. And Ted couldn't name like the total population. And everyone was like, well, of course, no one can name the total population. Like, that's just, that was a poor, sleazy tactic of Tucker to do. But I think it was valid if you're calling for the bombing of a country, at least know the details about said country. That would make the most sense to me. But to sit here and slyly call Tucker Carlson anti-Semitic and tell him that he's obsessed with the Jews and obsessed with Israel after just saying your main goal in government is to protect Israel, a little fishy. It is. It's very fishy.
I'm not dying for Israel. You half-wits do realize that if Iran was successful in creating a nuclear weapon and then used that nuclear weapon to attack Israel, that the United States would be obligated to respond both morally and strategically, right? So what Israel did, which is target Iran's nuclear facility and eliminate heads of the IRGC, that's actually preventing a broader war and a greater regional conflict from breaking out.
The main gist, really, when people say, I'm not dying for Israel, is because they don't want to die for something Israel did. If y'all want to go fight and y'all want to shut that thing down, then by all means go do that. That's really what it is. I understand that this person is Jewish. I understand that this person is very pro-Israel, but not wanting to fight for Israel, not like, if someone's pledging the military to protect America, they want to protect America, not defend another country, even though they are an ally, if said ally is constantly causing problems in the Middle East as well, or constantly in battle. It's like at some point, you need to just figure it out yourself. You just need to figure it out, build some stuff. Again, being Captain Save a Hole across the world just ain't gonna work out for us all the time. It's just not.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran. Now, I'm more militant and more militaristic than the president. I believe in strength. But to start a war in order to get elected, and I believe that's going to happen.
That's old Trump, and it's happened with him. Now, I will give him, he did say he's about strength, and he is about that. He dropped them damn bombs. That's strength. He said, do not mess with America. America came here to shut this thing down, whatever you got working on. That is showing strength. I'll give him that. But that was old Trump talking about Obama, when in reality, that's just his future self.
Okay, let's talk about all you people shitting on Trump for the war in Iran. It's stupid. Let me explain why. Trump is literally playing an impossible hand. Trump can't just let Iran destroy Israel. He has to give them kind of backup. A large amount of Americans love Israel. It's part of his biggest voter base. It is just built into the American identity. A lot of Americans also don't want to go to war and are anti-war. Great. Iran's nuclear program has been a negotiation since the Bush era. Okay, so he's trying to solve a problem that's literally decades old. Iran's nuclear program has to do with trade with China and military deals with Russia, which tie into Ukraine. Trump is trying to kill as few people as possible, literally telling people in Tehran to flee. What better job could he be doing? There's literally nothing else he could be doing given the situation. And if your logic is, well, just let Israel get bombed, stupid.
This isn't about like, just let Israel get bombed. This is about making Israel defend themselves as much as they can. That's what this is about. Like, again, if Iran wants to make a nuke because they feel like Israel has nukes, then like they're equal, so be it. I get they're crazy, but at the same time, it's like, what's the goal? How long is this going to last? It's been 30 years now. Is it gonna keep going? Something needs to give. Like, truly something does, and I guess we're trying to do it now, but damn. I give them that there are people like this who feel like Trump is handling it as best as he can. He's the one in charge. He knows what he's doing. They support these actions. They like the idea of getting rid of, Iran's nukes, and they're okay with this, and they think we're all good. And I think it's cool to highlight that, but at the same time, damn, I just want Israel to fight for themselves. I don't see why we involved in this damn thing. I'll give it to you. There are people that are supporting Israel for this. There are people that are supporting America for this. There are people that are supporting Trump for this, and they are A-okay.
If you are anxious or falling for fear-mongering regarding World War III or the Iran situation, and you are in the continental United States, I promise you we're fine. We've had wars in the Middle East before. They stay over there. They're not going to come over here. Even if Trump does hit Iran with his missiles, Iran can retaliate by hitting our U.S. bases overseas. They do not have the weapons capacity to reach us in America. Furthermore, the whole thing about this being about Iran's nuclear weapon development is so silly because the supreme leader has declared that it's forbidden under Islamic law for them to develop weapons of mass destruction like that. So they're not doing that. There's not going to be a nuclear war. Russia doesn't want to stick her big-ass nose in this business. We don't want to stick our big-ass nose in some World War III shit. Even if Trump does pull that trigger, you're not going to be sitting on your couch and bombed over here in the States.
And to me, that's honestly where I land, except for the terrorist attacks. That's what I'm more concerned about, but they do seem like very rare. But she does have a point. Like this whole World War III narrative. Again, this video, I'm making this as of the 21st. Something could happen when I wake up. Other countries could join. Other countries could be pissed. I don't know. So again, that's as of now. The World War III breaking out, I don't see happening. I understand things have escalated very fast, but so far it just, again, the Middle East, there's never been peace in the Middle East, okay? So to a certain extent, I feel like she does have a point in that this is just rinse and repeat, sadly, and we're gonna be fine here in the continental United States. Maybe some bases over there will be in trouble, the neighboring countries will be in trouble. That's something to look out for. But this idea that everyone's worried about being drafted in World War III and the whole world's gonna explode. No. One of the main reasons I've never been concerned with the nukes really is because no one benefits from a nuke, especially the ones that we have now. Like, I get that we did set one off, but I don't ever see one, again, I'm not a geopolitical expert, but I don't see one ever being used again at that scale. I don't, because it just takes out so much, it leaves so much damage, and if your main goal is to conquer an area or take over an area, you're gonna kind of want that area to exist and like be habitable. That's just where my brain goes. It's a little positive. It is, admittedly so. That's where my brain goes. Because at the end of the day, I am concerned about what happens next. I do want to see what happens next. My mind isn't immediately jumping to the entire world at war. That's not where I'm at right now. Even with the strike that Trump just did, I do not see that. I see this war escalating in the Middle East. I see tensions rising over there, but I also see tensions rising here in the United States, and this split happening, especially with the Republicans on supporting Trump versus not supporting Trump in his actions and what he did. And seriously, I do want to know from you in the comments below, where do you stand? How do you feel about this? Are you happy that Trump did this strike and he's taken out their nuclear sites and you're chill about it? Or are you upset about it? Are you mad that he did this? Do you just want to focus more about America first approach? Are you in the middle? Are you don't want to go to war, but you're glad with the way it went down? No troops really were involved. It was planes flew over, drop, and they dipped out. And you cool with that? Cool. But I want to know. Let me know in the comments below. Again, be sure to subscribe because I will have a video talking about foreign influence. And again, it's tricky because it has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic. That's just so stupid to me. It has nothing to do with that. It's just literally foreign influence. So that one will be coming out. Again, I'm very thankful for the support. I'm very thankful for the sponsors. I'm very thankful that you're willing to spend time with me and watch my content and go through the news together and go through the world and hear different perspectives, talk things out, you know. It's just fun. It's genuinely fun. And I'm very thankful to be in this position and have this job and just be able to chat with you all about what's going on in the world and connect with one another. Because at the end of the day, I know things can be a little scary out there. I know it can be very concerning. Again, like we mentioned before earlier on in this video about how there's been so much going on in the United States, especially for millennials. Like, can we just chill out? With all these like mass light bulb events going on, and really don't want to start with war in the midst of all this inflation and debt and healthcare. There's so many things to worry about here in the United States. I get that it can be overwhelming. I get that it can be a lot on your mental health. But if you are someone that has been glued to your phone, glued to what's going on, and you already have that kind of more, and I don't mean this in a negative connotation, but the negative mindset out into the world, and it's quite literally depressing you, put the phone down, turn off the videos. Do not watch anything that's just putting you in terror. Just center back, control your emotions, control the controllable, worry about your bills, worry about what makes you happy, worry about your family, worry about your friends, worry about yourself, worry about your home. Take care of that. It's okay to zone out. You don't have to care about every little thing going on this planet. You don't have to worry about every little thing. You genuinely don't, especially if you're prone to just spiral out of control because of how chaotic the news and this landscape can be right now. I know it can be a lot for some people, so just be sure you're taking care of yourself truly, because no one can but you. With that being said, I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video, and I can't wait to catch you in the next one. My name is Amir Odom, and I will see you later. Deuces.